It's Brett, Colts user here. Dropping in for a little post free agency one recap, little show here to kick off your day or whenever you're listening to it. So I just want to highlight some big free agent signings in the league and go over some of the teams that I think got the best or the best additions out of this. First off, Commanders. So they got Tyron Smith. I know it was a bidding war between him and the Jets or the Jaguars, excuse me. He was the Jets last year. But so Tyron Smith, 1 year deal. That's gonna really bite into their cap. But I mean, they had a lot of money to play with this offseason. So I like the move. I mean, they made the playoffs this year, almost won that game against Philly early on. So you really got to dig the move there. And I know they made another big move down here, somewhere here, Amari Cooper. So they bring in him alongside Scary Terry. So it's a scary 1-2 punch there. I mean, that team's just getting dangerous. And they just traded for Brees Hall today. So now you got Jaden Daniels, Amari Cooper, Brees Hall, and Terry McLaurin there. And obviously Brian Robinson's still there, and Austin Eckler, to my knowledge. So a lot of weapons on that offense. And come back up here. Another team I want to highlight is the Bengals. So the Bengals, three big splash moves in this free agent class. So of course the big one right here, Buda Baker is coming over. Finally they get their Jesse Bates replacement a couple of years after he leaves, but a big 5-year deal. You can see in the top right, over $160 million. But this is one of the best safeties in the league. He's a shorter safety, but like you look at his stats, I mean, he's got some good coverages. If we can get over here, I don't know if I'm gonna get over there, but he's just a very good player in this game. And I mean that X factor is just like a defining thing that is hard to find really in Madden free agency classes, it feels like. But here's one right here, and he goes to the Bengals. And like I was saying, multiple signings by them. The second one I want to look at is Paulson Adebo. So 26-year-old, 6'1", 91 speed corner. He got him for 5 years, so the entirety of the cycle, unless he decides to trade him, of course. But Adebo's going to come in that cornerback room. The Bengals defense, he wanted to reload that defense. I remember he said in the chat not too long ago he wants to learn how to play defense this offseason. That's his MO. And you bring in Adebo, you bring in Buda Baker, so it's two cornerstone guys, two younger players in this free agent class to bring in there and kickstart that. And the third guy I was mentioning was Deontay Johnson. So, of course, T. Higgins traded to me this past season, who was not a free agent. He signed somewhere else. I'll get to that in a second. But Deontay Johnson coming into that wide receiver room. So it's Chase and Johnson right now. And maybe look to draft somebody to become that third guy. I know Yossi Voss is there, and maybe Harrison, or what's his name? Jermaine Burton. But so it's a solid wide receiver room. They lost their tight end. Maybe look to address that in the draft. But the Bengals offense looking to reload. I mean, they were in the division all the way until the final 2 weeks of the season. I know the division winning Steelers had a losing record, but obviously new users coming in. So we'll see how that unfolds in the AFC North. But coming back to the top, next guy on my list, Stephon Diggs, the Chargers, of course, AFC Championship appearance in this past season. So you bring in Stephon Diggs. It's a 1-year rental. So really not a lot of risk. You're paying the guy for 1 year, and I mean, he's upgrading those weapons. He was running with Josh Palmer, Quentin Johnston, and those guys this past season. Now you bring in Diggs, who's still 90 speed. He's still a good player in this game, still an 88, still a star dev. So for 1 year, it really can't hurt. I really like the move. A very low risk, high reward move in this free agency class. Another guy I saw here was DJ Reed. This guy's a very short corner. Maybe play him in the sorry, I can't fucking talk. In the nickel spot. But 91 speed, 86 overall, only 28, a 2-year deal. So he won't really hit the regression wall for 1 or 2 more years. So maybe when that contract's up, might be an 84, 83. But it's really a good signing for him. He had the money to play with. Of course, the Chargers not really paying a lot of people besides like Herbert and some other guys on defense. But good signing there. And Ronnie Stanley here going from Baltimore to Denver. So Hefe reloading that offensive line. Of course, he was really complaining about that roster before this season started. But now he brings in one of the top tier tackles, has that superstar dev. So you bring in him for 2 years. He's not really going to regress because of that dev trait. So you have a cornerstone on the line to block for Bo Nix or whoever he puts behind center, because he's talked a lot of trash about his quarterback that he almost won a Super Bowl with, but we'll see who ends up being there. And here's two guys here that are unsigned. So Dre Greenlaw, someone that I was looking at signing actually, but I rescinded my offer. Of quickly after putting it in. But he's here, that 28-year-old outside linebacker. I mean, 86 speed. This guy's a good player. I'm assuming he's got 2 offers right now. He's going to get signed in FA2, I'm guessing. And here's Michael Pittman Jr. This is a guy I just cut about 20 minutes ago because he fell down to wide receiver 4 on my depth chart. He fell out of everything. He's just not a Madden player, if you guys know what I mean. So he's out here, 2 offers, so he's going to get picked up. But he's just a guy. He's just a guy. I tried to trade him for some late picks. Didn't work out. Just a guy. I mean, his rating is good. Everything on paper looks fine, but he just doesn't play well in the game, and I don't understand what it is, but yeah. So here's T. Higgins. I referenced him earlier, leaving Cincy to go to Indy last year for the trade. Now he's a free agent. I didn't re-sign him. He goes to Baltimore. So now you got Zay Flowers, T. Higgins, Mark Andrews, Isaiah Likely, those guys in Baltimore. So reloading that offense, reloading that receiving core. Obviously today in real life, they went and got Deontay Johnson. And here in the game, a similar kind of move, bringing another weapon to that current receiver room, add T. Higgins in there. So he's just a big body possession receiver. He's going to make catches. He's not going to drop the ball very often. So it's a guy that you love to bring in. But the one critique I have, that contract offer is not too hot. I think a 5-year deal. I mean, he may get a 4-year deal in real life, but that's hefty. And this guy, I don't know how much he's going to progress in Madden. If you can really cook with him, maybe you can get him a dev trade up or 2 to maybe an X Factor if he's good. But I don't know. The contract is not amazing, but it's not a horrible signing. You can't bash it too much. But DJ Reed already talked about Chris Godwin. Okay, so I signed him for my team, and I think Chris Godwin has always been a guy. This is just like, I know how I said Michael Pittman, not a Madden player. Chris Godwin has always felt like a Madden player to me. And I can't really, I can't tell you, tangibly what it is about him. I mean, similar speed to Pittman. He's shorter. But he's a little, just not even little. He's just a medium-sized receiver. He just plays very well for me in Madden. So my only reasoning for signing him is what I can tell you is that he just plays well for me in the last few Maddens. So I wanted to bring him in here and see what he can do in this offense. It's going to be Josh Downs, who has a superstar development now. Chris Godwin with star. And we got A.D. Mitchell, who's still got normal, but he's coming up through the ranks. Of course, Anthony Richardson, reigning MVP. So we got him with superstar. Jonathan Taylor is there. So I like my offense this year. So we'll see if we can roll with that. Keenan Allen here, still a free agent. He wants $16 million. He's got 85 speed. This guy may be a free agent come week 1, but still a quality player. I mean, throw him in the slot, run some short little shifty routes. He's not going to get a ton of separation on other routes that require speed. Like if you get him against a slow, small corner maybe, but other than that, it's going to be rough. Hassan Reddick, 30-year-old, got the 3-year deal from Detroit. I mean, a lot of money for this guy. I think contract, when that runs out, he's going to be 79, 80 overall. So all you can do is hope that the user can perform with him here, keep that overall up. But he's a solid player right now. But I say right now, if this is a 1-year deal, I'm clapping my hands for the Lions. But 3, I don't know. Christian Kirk just got cut by the Jags earlier. He was on the trade block, couldn't find a trade partner, so he's here. He's got 2 offers. He's still a quality player. 85 overall, 28 years old, 91 speed, good acceleration. He's going to get scooped up. He's going to be a quality player for at least 2 more seasons in this cycle, I'd say. Adebo we touched on. I got Justin Simmons. Not going to talk about it much. 2-year deal. Older safety, but I think he plays well in Madden. I mean, I needed some safety help in the back. We had some safety issues later in the year with some lower overall, older-ish guys. So Simmons is just another guy to throw in there. And I think a solid deal for the player he is. Not the fastest guy, but I don't want to put him in too many situations where he has to be a speedster back there. But should work out. Jalen Warren, the Cowboys, he's the new RB1 there. Of course, it was Zeke and Dowdle. Now Warren is back there. 5-year deal is interesting. I just saw that. But it's an immediate progression there in the backfield. I mean, this guy may progress 2 or 3 more years. He could get up to a 90 overall if he's cooking in that offense. So I can't hate too hard on that. Jamal Adams sitting out here. Another guy might be available week 1. Who knows? Deontay, I touched on. Bakhtiari is a Patriot. And that's probably where I'm going to wrap. Actually, there's one more guy I want to touch on down here. So Rashid Shaheed had about 5 offers coming into here. Of course, 96 speed is what jumps out at you. And he gets picked up by Green Bay. So Green Bay, a team that just barely missed the playoffs this past cycle. Shaheed is going to be in that offense. A bunch of like mediocre receivers, you know. You got Reed in there, Watson, Wicks, Dobbs. But you throw Shaheed in there, he's going to be that guy you can put either in the slot on some crossing routes to get some separation or on some deep routes to beat the corners. And this is one of my top 5 signings of free agency is Shaheed. I put in an offer. I was 3 bars out of 5. I saw the guys up in 5. I'm like, nah, I'm not getting him. But yeah, Rashid Shaheed, the final guy I'm going to touch on. So that's the free agency 1 recap. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good night.